Hello, I am Xarkun and this is World of Warships Legends. Today I have for you what I think is the most epic carry I've ever performed in a ranked game. And we are in ranked Season 19 featuring Tier 7 ships. And for our ship, we have chosen the Tier 7 premium French battleship Jean Bart, arguably one of the strongest battleships at Tier 7, and an excellent choice for ranked if you have it. Now, I say this is one of the most epic carries I've ever performed in ranked because at the end of this game, when we take a look at the leaderboard, obviously I am on top of the leaderboard, but the amount of XP separating my score from the person who takes second place on that leaderboard totals nearly 1,200 XP. So I have scored 1,200 more XP than the guy that comes in second place. This is why I say I basically single-handedly carry this game. That is not to say that my team doesn't contribute to the game. They, of course, do, but they don't contribute in an optimal way. And I think for the purposes of instruction and strategy, it may be best to walk you through my thought process. Now, the number one component of especially battleship play in this game is positioning. It's something I've talked about before, and it is both the single factor that determines your efficacy the most in a battleship, and also the hardest skill to master. But on the bright side, I think ranked formats like this, with a low amount of ships, in this case 5 versus 5, makes it a lot easier for you to position your battleship in effective ways, because there's a lot less enemies to keep track of. Of course, it also hurts really badly if your team does not position their battleships in good ways. And let's point out what our team is doing right now. It appears that all of them are forming a lemming train and following the destroyer into the Bravo Cap. You can see I am flanking around the Bravo Cap. I want to find a position where I can potentially get broadside shots on the two Bismarcks who were spotted that are likely to push into the cap. I'm taking myself as far away from possible from my battleship teammates. Of course, that doesn't always work because, as you can see, one battleship is following me around the islands here. Preferably, one of them would go the opposite way around this cap, and we would try to get far away so that with these Bismarcks pushing into this cap, they would have to go past our guns to do it, and they would have to give broadside to one of us. But if this battleship is going to follow me into the same vector on the map, then this Bismarck and his teammates are going to be able to angle against both of us, and the fact that this battleship is following me is going to make him less effective and arguably me a little bit less effective. But one thing that does make me quite effective is the commander build on this ship. I'm using the Azerlane Dunkirk commander, who comes with a skill that allows you, when it's fully maxed, to basically instantly switch your shell type when the guns are fully loaded, and that, of course, makes it easy to have the correct shell selected in every circumstance. So we see this Bismarck is going broadside to us. We instantly switch to the armor piercing, take aim, and fire. And you're going to notice that it's a little bit difficult, or it takes a little bit of time to rack up a lot of damage against all these guys. And that is because the accuracy on the Jean Bart's guns is not the best, but the thing that makes the Jean Bart so strong is its main battery reload booster consumable, and unfortunately I think we wasted one of those. That consumable makes it very easy to punish ships making any kind of mistake, and that is the thing that makes the Jean Bart so powerful. Besides that consumable, it is nice to have your turrets set in the front of the ship. It means you can point bow in and get all your firepower on target, but it's also not that great because the Jean Bart is actually not a very tanky battleship at all. In fact, it is quite squishy, and anybody who disagrees with that clearly has not faced enough HE spam in their lives. HE spam is the Jean Bart's #1 weakness. It will melt under light cruiser HE spam if the light cruiser is running equilibrium of power. Basically, those shells can penetrate the Jean Bart everywhere, and if any battleship finds itself in a duel with a well-angled Jean Bart that it can't damage with its AP, then it should simply switch to high explosive, and it will melt the Jean Bart very quickly indeed. So the Jean Bart is not a very tanky ship, and that is why I am spending the beginning of this game trying to be as careful as possible, not push in too far, and hopefully always have the option to disengage. We finally get a decent hit on somebody out there. It's the Amagi, but he's taking himself behind that island, which means if we go forward here, we should be able to put that island between ourselves and the Amagi and limit the fight to ourselves versus this Bismarck. Of course, we've got our battleship teammates out here, and ideally they would be elsewhere. It's going to make it a little bit harder for us to be as effective as we could, but it's fine. Right now, though, we really need to pay attention to the mini-map so that we can be safe here. We know the Amagi is behind that island over there. We know there's 2 Bismarcks in the cap. We also know there's a destroyer in the cap. Bismarck's giving broadside, so we pop the reload booster, and that is the time the destroyer decides to come around the corner. It's a Kagero. We're kind of broadside to him. We start turning in instantly. We fire one of the shots. We're able to take him out and net ourselves the high caliber metal. And because of the Jean Bart's excellent acceleration, in part due to the propulsion mod and its pretty tight turning circle for a battleship, we're able to dodge those torpedoes quite easily, and the Kagero gets nothing for his sacrifice. That's something you don't want to do in a destroyer. It's almost never a good idea to trade your destroyer for a chance at sinking a battleship. If you're going to do it, then you really need to be sure that you are going to come out of the situation alive. So it's best to not attempt it at all if you are a one-shot kill for a battleship. And you are a one-shot kill for a battleship if you are at like half health, like that Kagero was at 4 kilometers away from a battleship. It's just not a good idea. In any case, the Amagi has also pushed into the cap. He is giving flat broadside, and he's being punished by me and one of my battleship teammates out there. Our guns are nearly reloaded. We should be able to get the killing blow, but we're on kind of low health now, so we do want to be careful. We're reversing out of the way, and unfortunately this little island right there is going to prevent us from getting the kill on the Amagi. But now the question is, what do we do? We know the Amagi and the Bismarck are both traveling, what is that, north through the Bravo cap, and we've got an island separating them from us. The enemy Suzuya is out there way on the edge of the map. He's just taken out the Bismarck, and the Suzuya at this point is the biggest threat to me in my mind. Again, the Jean Bart is a pretty squishy ship when it comes to high explosive. Now, luckily for us, the Suzuya is one of the lesser or the least scary cruisers we could have over there in that position in this situation, because the Suzuya, even though it's light cruiser, it does not have equilibrium of power. The Suzuya is not capable of penetrating 32 millimeters of armor with its high explosive, but it is capable of lighting a lot of fires very quickly, and it can penetrate our superstructure, which is kind of big, so we do need to be careful. Bismarck here, backing up broadside to us. He does not see us. He fires his guns, so as soon as he fires, we know it's safe to go around this island. We take a look at the forward position of the guns so we can see when we're clear of the island, and we're able to shoot into his broadside, taking him down to almost no health. The Amagi is in front of him, and we are in a position where we can angle against the two of these. We have timed our push very effectively indeed, but unfortunately we do have to push. 3 out of 5 of our ships have gone down. It's just me and one battleship versus these 2 battleships and the Suzuya, and the enemy team has a commanding points lead. Unfortunately, we don't take down the Bismarck with that salvo, so we are going to have to wait to reload once more, and then we should be able to take him down, after which point we can focus on the Amagi. And note that the Suzuya is shooting us this entire time. I think he's probably responsible for the fire we've got burning on us, but since he does not have equilibrium of power, you'll notice that not all of his shells are penetrating us, and that is the key here. That is a good thing. We need to take out this Amagi, though. We can't have him presenting a threat to us. He's going to make it very easy for us by turning flat broadside. And there he goes. That's our third kill of the game. We're up to 121,000 damage. And that just leaves the Suzuya, who is going to attempt to play this game very, very right. And while this last sequence of the game that just ended was quite action-packed, this one is going to be a game of minds, I guess. A mind game. And it's going to be a little bit of a cat and mouse scenario. Now, the Suzuya has taken himself behind the islands over there in front of us, so he's blocked line of sight. He can no longer shoot at us, which is going to allow us to take this capture circle, and that is good, because that is going to give us an income of points, and there are still 4 minutes left to go in this game. So it's possible that if we flip this cap circle and nothing else happens, we could win on points. At least that is the possibility I'm keeping in the back of my mind here. And now our goal is to prevent the Suzuya from entering the alpha cap and flipping that. If he does that, then I think that guarantees his team the win. So we're going to pursue him, but we do know one thing. We know the Suzuya is not all that far away from this island. We can see his spotter plane, or his fighter plane, whatever it's called, up in the air. And we did notice that at the point it appeared to launch, it was only 8 or 9 kilometers away from this rock. That means we're probably in the torpedo range of the Suzuya, which I think has 10 or 12 kilometer torpedoes, and if he's kiting away, as he is in this situation, then it'll be easy for him to launch, I think, 8 torpedoes off one side of his ship toward this corner of the island. So we need to be careful as we approach this corner because we are expecting torpedoes to come through. And there they are. It looks like those are 2 out of his 4 sets. In order for him to get the other set around, he would have to turn his ship all the way around. And we're going to come around this island at full speed now in an attempt to catch him. Once we see him, we'll get an idea of whether we should be expecting more torpedoes to come. And there he is. He is not going for the alpha cap. He is sailing in the other direction, which is exactly what we want. We're not able to tag him with that salvo as he disappears around the island, and we're still spotted by his planes. Now, we notice he's heading west on the map, so we decide to head west. I really wish this battleship behind me, the last surviving teammate of mine, was not following me and was instead making a beeline toward Alpha. I think that would be the most effective thing he could do right here, but he's not doing it. On the other hand, there are only 2 minutes left to go in this game. The score is 430 and counting for our team versus the static 552 points of the enemy. And unless that Suzuya sinks one of us or takes the alpha cap, 552 points is the total amount of points that the enemy team is going to acquire in this game. So the question is, can our taking the cap circle a few minutes ago, I think now nearly 2.5 minutes ago, can doing that be enough to win us the game without having to kill this Suzuya? Because this Suzuya can pretty effectively run away from the 2 of us. There is no reason for him to be spotted if he doesn't want to, and I think the danger of him going to the alpha cap has passed. That friendly battleship is now heading for the alpha cap, and I'm sort of flanked around the alpha cap. So if that Suzuya gets into the cap, he is going to probably be spotted by one of us, and we are going to be able to reset him before he ever caps. But now the time has dipped below 1 minute. It is 5:08 to 5:52 and counting. Do we have enough time to overtake the enemy team on points? The Suzuya is nowhere to be found. I think he's playing this as well as he possibly could. He's not trying to win harder. The only question is his passivity the correct answer, or should he have tried to take the Alpha Cap? Well, less than 30 seconds left to go, and it does look like the amount of time we have left is going to be enough to allow us to overtake the enemy team on points. And we do, proving once more that the capture circles are the primary objective in ranked. And more than anything else I did in this game, taking that Bravo cap 4 minutes ago is the thing that ultimately sealed our victory. And you'll take a look at the XP on the team results screen and notice that I have 2,700 base XP, nearly 2,800. So an excellent game on my part, and hopefully, I think, a good instruction on effective positioning. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If so, give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.